What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Well, if you're new here, welcome to the Last Way podcast. We are doing a couple different things today, but first off, we're going to introduce our co-hosts. We got Buster.
Howdy.
And Brando.
Yo.
Everybody's back again. If you're new to the podcast, we deal with topics like ghosts, UFOs, cryptids, conspiracies, pretty much anything under the weird paranormal umbrella, the occult stuff, all that good shenanigans. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We are trying to do some recording, so we'll have some video mixed in with this at different points. So, try to get used to that. Again, we're trying some new stuff, trying to evolve as much as we can, and trying to add everything we can to the podcast itself. So, we're going to be going over some general magic stuff, divination, precognition, and that kind of jazz. But I actually have a special project set up to where the Brando and Buster will be attempting to scry into a bowl of water, and that will be spliced in to the video as well. So
I'm definitely excited to see what happens here.
Yeah, so if you're seeing the video, and you'll see on the video right here is where I'll splice it in, so you'll be able to watch it. But picking up, we will be doing scrying and recording it on a different device and then splicing it into the video. So we're going to be doing it more or less live. So that'll be fun. But have you guys ever attempted divination before? Like, tarot cards, reading the bones.
I've thrown bones, but I've never used a bowl of water.
Yeah. See, what about you, Buster? I know you've messed around a little bit.
I've seen some tarot. I've had a couple readings done. During a Reiki session, I had some pretty wild visions before, but nothing like this. So what have we here?
So this is what Nostradamus did.
Right.
This was his preferred method. I've been messing with it. I've got some videos on our TikTok and that kind of stuff, and I believe there's some videos on the actual podcast itself. But I've been working on different scrying methods. So what we have here is basically a copper bowl. A brass bowl, if you will. There's pieces of copper flakes within it, and there's water, obviously, and then there's also, I use peppermint oil just because, it's just nice. But any type of oil, you put it in the water, you want to swirl it around, that kind of stuff.
So you're supposed to use it with oil as well?
Yes, because the oil helps because if you just look at water, it's going to look...
No, I got you. You'd think I would have known that at some point.
So what we do is you're supposed to, the way Nostradamus did it, you actually tilt your eye, or you tilt your head and squint your eyes a little bit. You focus on it, and you may see nothing. You could see full-on pictures. Here's what I found through doing it. It's more about the fact that through focusing through the water and on the bottom of the bowl, and then back to the top of the water, and then as the whole bowl is a picture, there's something that happens to your eyes. And it's between the focusing in and out of different things. It's like breaking the code. It's like, that's how I described it to Buster's. It's like breaking the
clipping.
Game. Yeah, it's clipping.
The clipping.
Because you're seeing things that you're not supposed to see. What I did, I sat under a tree. So when I scried into the bowl, I could see the tree above me.
Right.
Which technically no one on Earth should have been able to see.
Why is that?
Because no one was looking at it. I was seeing it, and I shouldn't. It's kind of, if we were in a simulation, right? If we're in a game, I'm gonna say it like that. If you're in a video game, what's in front of you is what you see. The rest of it is not computer generated at that moment.
Right.
So if I am the only person looking down and there's no one around, and no one should technically be seeing that canopy above me. So there's something in between that there's a trance state.
So you're saying because your head was in front of it?
No, it's because you're seeing something that you're not supposed to see.
But was it not directly over you?
No, it was. You do it at an angle. I was looking down into it, and you could see the canopy above me in reverse. That's why I was trying to set up lighting.
In the reflection of the water.
In the reflection of the water.
So why would that not be possible? I'm just confused.
But because you're viewing it through a technique and not viewing it just with your eyes.
It's like,
It's like a
it's
mirror.
like looking at a mirror.
Yeah.
Looking at a mirror.
But how is looking at a mirror impossible?
Well, because
I feel like I missed a piece of information here.
You just have to okay. So
I'm not conceptualizing it right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If I'm sitting there looking into this bowl and I can see something that's behind me,
Right.
I should not technically be able to see that. So therefore, that should not exist. It's kind of like an outside view of what's happening. It's a roundabout thing.
All right. What?
So there's this thing called a psychomantia. I believe it's. Do you know what I'm talking about, Buster?
Yeah, but elaborate.
So you sit. It's another form of scrying. So you sit in front of a black mirror with a mirror behind you.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's something with your eyes and being able to see things that you shouldn't really go see.
But what you're saying is, from the angle of which you were looking into the bowl, you should not have been able to see the canopy behind you.
If you just physically, like, I can see behind you. Okay.
Right.
You can see behind me.
Right.
You should not technically, in normal, if mirrors didn't exist, you wouldn't be able to see behind you.
Right.
So because I saw something that no one else should be able to see, that's my theory. More than likely, it's some kind of trance state between the focusing, and it does something with your eyes and works that way.
I'm ready to give it a crack for sure.
All right, so what you would do, or try to do this in a couple different ways. So we're trying to set up everything. If no one sees video, that means this didn't work. But you, Brando, will take the bowl and you will look into the bowl. You swirl it. Okay, and you will wait. You have to look until you can see some light. Like, is the bowl lit? Can you see things moving?
Yeah.
All right. So you're pretty good from your angle. So just look down and focus on the bowl. Focus on the water, and then look at the bottom of the bowl through the water, and then look at the water on the top. And go back and forth between focusing on different things. And if you're seeing the video live, try to block us out. It's all visual, so audio shouldn't really mess with you. But if you're hearing this, and you're seeing it on video, then you can do it as well. We have it recorded on multiple different angles. And you can do this at home. Yeah, feel free to get in there and move it around. Now, when I did it, I saw shapes formed in the copper pieces. Just different stuff. It was all... the main thing is the fractal nature of what you're seeing created by the oil in the water. There's something in that is just really unexplainable, and that's a big part of it, I feel like.
Now, the copper.
The copper is...
Is that due to the conductive nature?
I added that. That is not actually what is said to be in... I believe he put crystal of some kind in there. But I thought because of the magnetic properties of the copper.
What do you think would happen if we put orgonite in it?
I don't know. Feel free to try it. Anybody that's listening, I mean, yeah.
So this is going to become completely experimental now, I guess.
Yeah. So what... Well, you can just put it back on the thing. But we could try a couple different methods. We can always record more methods, but...
Yeah, I got nothing.
And that's perfectly fine.
It looks like a bunch of amoebas, pretty much, is what I'm seeing.
So there's also something I noticed, and it's maybe there's not really any light ones, but there was some lighter copper that was floating around in there, and it would be like an island, right? And they would all like slowly move together, I guess, through the conductive nature of it. And again, you can follow along at home. You can do your own thing. You can do whatever you want to do.
On a side note, I got 70 grams of raw copper at the house, and I really want to make some rings with them.
That'd be a good idea. But so what you should be looking at and focusing on is, again, focusing on the top of the water, and then the bottom of the water, and then the top of the water, bottom of the water. Look at the bowl.
Let me give this another go.
Yeah. And if you don't see anything, that doesn't mean anything. This is what we're trying. There may be different methods. You may need to put your eyes at a different angle. Anything. But, I mean, it could go either way. I don't know if that'll fit.
Maybe. But if you're not aware of what orgonite is, it's like this pyramidal resin.
Buster's pulling out a piece of orgonite. It's like a mixture of things. Oh my gosh, what did I just do to my eye?
Ain't that pretty though?
Oh, I got peppermint in my eye. That's what happened.
Oh goodness.
Oh, I don't recommend that, everybody.
That's what you
Here.
get, man.
This is gonna be live. This is
So-
live.
Just for the hell of it.
We're gonna keep this in.
Oh,
Welcome
man.
to the nature of the podcast. So I put peppermint oil in. That feels refreshing. I'm not gonna lie.
After it
Horribly
you get burned
refreshing.
a little
You know,
bit,
Yeah.
you gotta hurt
in
a little bit to
regards to
feel
one
good.
of our earlier podcasts, pain is good.
Pain is-
Pain is good. Do you
All
feel
right,
the
so
growth
I
happening?
feel air.
Do you
Like,
know?
very.
Do you know where you
very
fucked
well.
up?
Yeah, right about when I poked my eye. Don't put peppermint oil in your eye. That's I can guarantee that's about it.
Yeah, but that is nothing compared to Sanagan.
I don't know what that
it's
is.
not.
It's a shamanic eye drop.
Oh yeah, I don't want to know that.
They literally call it lightning in the eyes.
It makes
It's terrible.
yeah.
It's not good.
It's like
It's
getting
probably
anal
not.
raped in the eyeball.
We can't. Okay, well we're gonna pick this back up right here because we went through something. Oh God, actually, okay, we're gonna take a break on everything so I can fix my eye.
You're tapping out. Okay.
So we're gonna take a break real quick. You won't notice anything. It'll be like a 2-second break for everybody. We'll be right back.
This thing quit.
What's up, everybody? We're back. For you guys, that'll just be a couple seconds. For us, we took a little break. I washed my eye out of the peppermint oil. I feel great now. Refreshed.
Yeah, I felt bad for him. I saw the pain in his pupils.
It
was pupil pain.
It was, again, it wasn't necessarily super painful. I mean, I don't recommend it, but it wasn't fun.
10 out of 10 would not recommend.
Yeah, it was like taking a York peppermint patty to the eye.
You know what? That sounds oddly
That sounds-
refreshing.
Yeah, it
Never
wasn't.
actually
That's what I'm-
done.
And delicious.
That's why
Yeah.
I couldn't decide if I was going to take a break. Because I'm like, man, this is kind of nice, but it's also kind of terrible. It's like icy
you just
fire.
pick one and go with it.
Yeah,
You know?
so we had to take a break and clean up a little bit. We could try the scrying again. I don't know how it would react.
Yeah, let me catch a drag of that, man.
Try. I know you want to try.
Okay, so what did
See
we
what
learn
happens.
last time though? When
Not to
you
touch.
put your finger in the water that
Right.
has the peppermint oil in it, your finger now very possibly has peppermint oil on it.
Very,
So
Alright.
it definitely will.
So this is
It's
for
organized.
academic.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
You're good.
you know, I
Let me turn
almost
on.
feel like if it breaks the surface of the water in such a way, it ruins the mirror that is the
Yeah, so
Yeah.
this is purely
vessel,
academic.
you know
So
what I'm saying?
It's more or less charging.
the organite is inside of this bowl that is nested on top of copper.
Yep.
Inside this singing bowl. So
Man, you know, a lot of the people
Brad.
use frequency and
Here, here,
vibration
here.
a lot with.
You gonna stir it? Little crystal.
Yeah.
Another crystal.
you put that in there too.
Sure.
Fuck it.
Crystals for days. Anyway, so we're still back. If for some reason the videos don't work, I don't want us to be just weirdly talking. We're trying to do the scrying some more. We're just kind of working on some stuff. We are recording a video here. We'll probably post on the TikTok as well. But just showing you like what we're doing, trying to charge the water. We're just kind of experimenting, just seeing what happens. But this is what is called if you don't know anything about this type of thing, this is what's called divination. And it's one of the many methods over the, thousands and thousands and thousands of years of humanity. So we have scrying, you have tarot cards, which are super popular now with especially with TikTok and social media, they've become extremely popular. So you have tarot cards, we have runes, which are the old Nordic method. We have oracle cards, which is the same thing. We have meditation is obviously one.
So, like with the runes and bones, like the runic alphabet was originally, just the runes that they would carve into pieces of wood and bone that they used for scrying and divination and whatnot. So that's how that actually got that start. And
Right.
the game Jax, that was also that stemmed from throwing finger bones.
Really? Oh, like pick up jacks or whatever? Yeah.
And there was another game.
Huh.
There was a game pre that people would play a lot more common, like earlier in history, literally called Finger Bones. It's a gambling game,
Wow.
and I think there's still like a way of playing it. They just is different. So
That's crazy.
it's really wild how many shamanic practices and things like that have bled into even things
Modern culture.
Yes, it like very much so, man. It's really bizarre.
Well, it's just like the the fairy tales, or not the fairy tales, the lullabies and stuff, like Ring Around the Rosie, is just the plague. So I mean, it's just it's weird. Yeah, it's weird.
Is that true? That's true. I heard that, but in my mind it had never been substantiated. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's probably true. Like, it's probably never. Maybe it has. That's what I believe. That's what I was.
Sounding really unsure.
So yeah, you maybe second guess it, but that's something that we've been told about what we've been told. So who knows?
You know,
Yeah, let's get Alright.
But yeah, so divination, old school magic is it's actually getting more popular. It's always been popular, but it's been more of an underground thing. Until I think you really see the rise of these ghost TV shows. Like you've got
an
Ghost
underground
Adventures.
Thing.
Yeah, it's not an underground thing anymore.
I just had a great idea for a bit. Underground magic, it's like shady. Like like scumbags and villainy, but like with magic, you know what I'm saying? Like the streets, with magic.
Like those guys in Nocturne Alley.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like what
That's the magic
heck is going
underground
on down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got a permit for that?
Of course not,
brother. You know I do.
All right.
It's right here. Boop.
So here, you take the Organite out, and then you see what you can see. Buster,
sir.
Remember the
Yeah, that's Dr. Mr. Sir to you, damn it.
Professor.
That Professor, Dr. Mr.
Lord.
So if you're seeing the video, you can see the water and everything. And again, my method is to focus on I'm gonna put another. No, I think we're good. I still see some oil in there.
And I have a thought as well.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So, vibration and frequency has always been such a big part of people who meditate or use divination and things like that, like shamanic people.
True. Very true.
So, do you think if we were to actually ring that bowl while we were trying to scry into it, you know what I'm saying, and actually made that thing well a little bit, it would probably take on a whole other property, like the oil inside it more than likely would.
Because since it's on top of the surface layer of the water.
Exactly.
But do I need to have the light at such an angle where I'm seeing the light refract?
Probably.
Y'all have seen that one experiment they did with sound frequency and
I need that.
I think it was like grains of salt or sand. Did you
Yeah,
ever
they
see
put them
that?
as semantics, I think is what it's called.
And they take on very distinct and intricate patterns based on the frequency played.
Yeah.
I bet it would be the same with the oil in that down.
It is. I don't think. Well, I don't have anything. Right. You can try. This is glad. Try this bottle.
You don't have nothing with a felt on it. Brett's on it.
That's gonna sound weird on the audio.
Ting.
Well,
don't ring that thing 13 times or the great horned rat will appear.
Yeah, we don't want to do any actual conjuring on the show, probably.
Well, that was a damn stab at a Warhammer reference.
Yeah.
I told him not to ring that thing 13 times, or the great horned rat might appear.
Poor bastard.
All right, so, but I mean that again, not all methods. I mean, some people look at fire. Some people look through the flames of fire to scry into the future.
And they burn like certain metal salts and things like that.
Yeah, that's true. They do do coloring and stuff like that.
It's all about your fuel, dog.
Yeah, I mean, what works for one is not going to work for everybody. If it did, then everybody would be telling the future and seeing things.
Damn soothsayers and such.
Yeah.
He said.
There you go. Get a good vibration. That's going to show up on the audio.
Not the audio. Well, we put the hot in audio, you know.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, Whitley.
We'll have to try my big bowl.
Yeah, we can, where it gets a good vibration. Yeah, we should. Okay.
Yeah, this thing's cute, but.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, it works. It works for some people.
Man,
All right, so we'll end the video on the phone. We're still recording over there. So the phone we'll probably see on some TikTok as well as mixed into the live recording.
Dude, I don't know why,
but
I feel like I'm at a baseball game.
Okay.
Looking up and seeing the lights shining down at me.
And I think...
while I'm running into home base.
Well, all right. I mean, sometimes it's just...
God, I didn't even have to slide.
You just took it in with an easy trot.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, scrying, it's something else.
It's tough. It's tough, and it's
All
It's
right.
fickle.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but is it not typically done in a very like a darker, dimly lit place with like candles or something? I really don't know.
Yes, when Nostradamus did it, he did it in a dark room with a candle. It's kind of there's different methods. The thing to me that worked with the reflection thing that worked, so I was just using it for everybody else. We might have to take it outside one day, do it on location outside and try it.
We have to find us a vortex.
But that is pretty much it for the scrying. I did have one really cool thing. I hope to be going on an investigation Friday if you guys are free.
I think we're kind of booked for Friday.
That's fine. I can do. I've been there before, but there should be some pretty cool evidence coming from that. Hopefully, so everybody keep an eye out for that.
What time was it?
I haven't talked to them yet. It's probably evening. They said anytime Friday.
Dude, Friday we're going.
Where's it at?
Ashboro. So we got carpool. Yeah, it's a miles away.
Oh,
we're talking about maybe going to a trampoline park Friday too. We should be tight. I'm gonna tear my other knee. It's gonna be lit.
Well,
Windy.
But yeah. So maybe keep an eye out for that. And let's see what else. What's on the? What's in the news?
The news.
We got all those animals going around in circles.
Yeah.
I heard about that, but I didn't see it.
Those are some crazy images and crazy videos. Animals just like in herds.
Yeah, we've had these animals going in circles. We've had like cetaceans and all kinds of whales like beaching themselves, and it's like some peculiar activity going on.
I'm sure.
But that's almost like it can be a couple different things. It could be them reacting to a environmental change.
Yeah.
It could be them reacting to this 5G frequency.
See, I'm more along the lines of something like that, something humans are doing. I mean, it's possible that it is some sort of like planetary thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, based on what we know, but what do we know? Say it all the time. But I think it's far more likely that it's something mankind is doing.
It probably is. I mean, it's probably something. It's either that or I'm of the belief that it's not actually what we're doing. It's something that's coming that's going to change things, like a pole shift,
like a planetary
thing. Planetary issue that's about to happen to a lot of things.
That's not far fetched. It's not like they haven't said like so the experts say it's happened many times throughout the history of our.
About every 3,600 years.
They say we're long overdue.
Yeah, well, it's
coming to
about
a head.
That time. Yeah, and I mean, if you look at, I know we talked about it before, and I did one of the short waves on it. From early 2000s, like 2003, there was like 4 reports of meteorites, whatever, fireballs in the sky, all the way up to like 2021, where it was like 300 something. So it's like grown every year. There's more. And that's what happened in the Younger Dryas period. It was a massive asteroid impact that did all that, killed the mammoths, or etc., froze them to death.
So I was I think it was Graham Hancock that was talking about it. That he was talking about evidence or people that spoke of a lost civilization, placed the loss of that civilization at the end of the Younger Dryas. So we were having that discussion on the way over here actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been talking about it, and it's what's silly is we talk about these things, and again, it's a synchronicity. We talk about things, and then they end up popping up into the freaking mainstream thing, like we did the AI thing, and then it became a big thing. And then we always talk about this. I have a theory that we've had many generations, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 years ago, whatever.
Did you notice? Did y'all notice that? We did the AI generated image thing, and then now you start to see other people do that.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's popping up in the mainstream now.
Yeah, but like we beat them to the punch.
I know. But
we beat them to the punch.
We beat people to the punch all the time. We're just small right now.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that blew my mind. I was like, man, y'all late to the party. You know what I'm saying?
Because people are using it to do like Mad Libs or like make funny images.
But how many of them tried to scry with it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of like revolutionary. But again, I go back to the mirror on the wall.
Yeah, and you see people having them create images of themselves too. There's that the vanity.
Yeah.
Like,
I've
the
seen people doing it on
vanity.
Facebook. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, I just picked the 7 images that look most like me, and they're all like beautiful and colorful. And
Yeah, man.
I'm like, okay, cool.
So here, tell me what I want to hear.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
You know what I mean?
Dude,
Whispering sweet nothing.
The AI comes with a disclaimer with the images it generates. It says, "Look, honey, you can't polish a turd."
I
Or
mean,
you can
sure
polish
as
a
hell try.
turd. You can
What's like,
spit shine that thing, but it's still a fucking turd.
I even saw someone do like a graphic artist, and they removed all of like Elsa's makeup from Frozen, and it was just like a whole different person. Like, I mean,
That's what
just be natural.
Yeah, makeup is like a very deceiving thing.
Yeah.
Well, you know that goes back to Enoch, right?
Enoch. How does it go back to Enoch?
Makeup, like all the alleged fallen angels
Yeah.
came down and they taught man like these different like sins, basically.
Yeah.
And one of them, I think it was Azazel, taught warfare, and it might have been something else, but one of them did like makeup.
Huh.
And the reason being is because the eyes are seductive.
Yeah.
And whenever you bring more attention to them, you become more seductive.
Right.
So
that's that vampire method I was talking about. Yeah, man. You then vamp them out.
That was
Vamp 'em
actually.
up. I'll seduce you right now.
I'm glad you. Well, not that. I'm glad you mentioned Buster. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was my like topic. That was my kind of title for today. Is your eyes are playing tricks on you, and it goes back to the scrying thing. Am I really seeing that? Are we really seeing what's around us? I heard
nothing is what it seems.
Yeah, I seen the other day, apparently something brown is just orange at like a different tint or something like that. Like, brown doesn't exist. It's just our eyes seeing orange in a different tint. So it had like a bunch of African American people like, are you sure about that? But like there was no brown color or something. And I'm like, how is there just not a color that we can see, like, and we see it?
Yeah, well, think about how many colors we can't see.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Because if we get back to this spectrum.
Yeah. The damn spectrum.
But if you do think about it, if you look at the spectrum of Roy G. Biv, where's brown?
That's true.
Well,
it
I don't think that's naturally
unless it's like it's a created color or something.
I don't think that's necessarily. Can one create a color, or doesn't it already exist and you just discover it? Can you truly create a color?
We are only dialing in a color.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, can you truly create a color? I don't think you can.
I mean, technically, it exists somewhere, on the spectrum of colors.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
We see. That's brown. That table's brown. That's brown. That's brown. Cardboard's brown.
Yeah.
My sweet ass hey dudes are brown.
But that's how
my dingy ass moccasins are brown.
But that's how we. I'm wearing fuzzy slippers, so
and they're brown.
They're also brown. My God,
Whoa.
It's a bunch of orange. We're just all wearing orange clothes.
Whoa,
off orange.
But it's like, it's your eyes are deceiving you. You with what's around you, and what we really can see. Are we sure that people that have like astigmatism and like see the glares and stuff and see different broken up images, are we sure that that's not how we're actually supposed to see?
I mean, who's to say,
are we seeing the fractal nature of things?
Well, and I've thought that we might all see colors. It's hard, like some people do see colors differently, especially people who are like, I guess, color challenged, or what we would call color challenged, or full on colorblind. What if we all actually see different colors, like what you see as a blue, I see as a red, but we both learned that they were green.
We called it the same thing.
Yeah. That's a theory that's always in. Like,
I thought that.
Yeah. Right, like we might all see it absolutely differently, but we all describe that as red because that's what we learned to be red.
That's what we know it to be as red.
Right, but
how do we know we're not seeing it in a different color?
Yeah, because how would you describe this?
Red. Because we don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, that's weird.
So it's all based off of learned
behavior
versus biological.
Right. Yeah. So who's to say? I guess somebody's probably. I mean, I'm sure it's possible to check that out. Like if you're a mad eye scientist, you got just like
It's all in
an
like
eye and you're shining
the way
shit through
our
it and
eyes
sampling it. I
bend
mean,
and
I don't know.
refract and-
Right. So okay, and this takes me back to the Pink Floyd logo.
Mhm.
Right. So it's the light shining through the prism, and then the rainbow comes out the other side.
Mhm.
So that's the three levels of our reality. We are the light shining through the prism, which is this,
Uh-huh.
and then what is projected from that is the reality that we
Is
can
the reality.
perceive.
That's pretty deep. That's pretty
Yes. So Pink Floyd, there you go.
deep.
Whitney.
So that's a very interesting topic. I do like a lot of stuff, and your eyes do play a lot of tricks on you with pretty much everything. I mean, there's no telling what we can see that's true and what's not true. You can use it for methods like scrying. Even so, what about with seeing without your eyes? So, what about like remote viewing? Now, I've never tried that,
Like,
but like there's whole people that can just
like in a psionic capacity.
yeah, like I can see where Hitler's hiding.
You
You
can
know,
go
that
into
can-
like this trance and like just like locate through like some kind of biological magnetism.
It's the group consciousness. I feel
Yeah.
like they could be accessing that because someone has seen it and someone knows that area.
But and it's like because it's since it's a universal one consciousness,
Yeah,
we're able to like kind of like run back through the circuitry and
Yeah.
pinpoint a different node.
Like the consciousness is essentially like the force, pretty much, right? It flows through us and is around us.
yeah. It's more. So I actually,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
But
it's
some are
all
tapped
around
into
us.
the
But
force and some
instead
are
of
not.
force, it's source.
Mhm.
And then
That's good. Yeah,
because the source code is basic throughout all things.
maybe that's why he called it the Force in the movie
Mhm.
because he couldn't say source.
Or he winds up with a heart attack.
Yeah, yeah. He
It's
yeah.
too.
winds up hanging himself in his cell somewhere.
Yeah.
Too soon.
He got unalived, dog.
That guy, the crypto guy, they're saying he's probably going to end up that way now.
Man, you know what?
After all he got.
I'm not gonna
charged
say
with a
that he
bunch of
don't
stuff.
necessarily deserve it.
Well, I think there
But he's a
was a
pawn.
bunch of shady.
Pawn.
Yeah, he's definitely
Absolutely
a pawn.
pawn.
Like that will go down at the whole, and we might get banned for this, but the whole Ukrainian
Oh man.
thing with the sending money.
Them guys died. I don't want to die, dude.
Looks, yeah, that's true. That's true.
No,
We're gonna leave it alone. We'll maybe say it for Patreon. Do your own research of where the money went. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, always
And
follow the
FTX.
money, man.
Yeah, follow
It's
the
all
money.
beautiful bullshit, man.
We'll
Just
move
like,
on
don't
so
be
we don't
stupid.
get
Just
shadow
read,
banned.
look, learn,
Yeah,
listen.
The breadcrumbs
Watch.
of shekels laying
Yeah.
around.
We don't want to knock at the door of the bunker here. We don't want that. So, but yeah. So remote viewing. So that also brings me to the precognitive stuff. So if that consciousness is there and people tap into it. So I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about the Titanic and how large events like that always seem to have
A correlation.
with a lot of people having precognitive of events regarding those events because it's so, like 9/11, like people
Because it's so widespread.
yeah, it's in the consciousness.
It's influenced a big chunk of that collective consciousness.
Yeah, they were basically talking about how a lot of people missed their trips on the Titanic, just like the richest families or the ones that became richest. Again, do your research on that. But a lot of people didn't go on the Titanic. There was reports of people like at the docks, like crying and weeping because they were just sure that it was going to sink. They knew it was going to sink.
Right.
So it was a vision like that was shared by many
Yeah.
people.
I'm
gonna look into that. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
So there's this thing called crisis apparitions, and it's like something where, say, you're laying in bed at night and someone comes to you in a dream saying, "I need help," or you see them bloodied, and the next day you get the call. It's something like that, but on a grand scale that really just defies.
No, my good
All
friend was in prison
Uh-huh.
or jail, excuse me, and he had no way of talking to
Man, why you
his
put my business
wife.
out there, dude?
So he
Dardo
was
Davis.
in his cell, and he said that he like astrally called her, and she's like in other counties and hadn't spoken to him in forever.
Yeah.
But she knew where he was.
Yeah.
And went and got him out of jail.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's again the astral one consciousness. I mean, there was even apparently at that time, and this is when the Titanic sank. You got to think about where it was. Icy waters, far, far away. There was even this woman who reported in Brazil, I think at that time, and she woke up the next day telling everyone how exhausted she was and telling her family what happened because in her dreams or in her, I guess, astral form, she had spent the entire night helping people get into boats.
Yeah, that was her reality.
Yeah, like she was helping people get into boats. She woke up the next morning in Brazil in her body, exhausted because she was out there. And I mean, 9/11. I don't know why or remember why, but there's random number generators around the world just for different experiments in different labs. And on 9/11, the day of 9/11, they all these random number generators around, I think, the U.S. correlated for like a certain time. Like all their random numbers were matching for like a certain time before the event. So it's almost like something was.
That was like a synchronicity there.
Yeah. And apparently you see that a lot on days where there's a train derailment, plane crash. People will just not get on the train. There's like a statistic where less people happen to travel the day that a train derails. Like it's weird how it's in there. I mean,
does that thing have a timer on it for video length? Is that the issue of something?
Cutting off, but I don't know how to
Maybe
we could
mess with the options or something.
Yeah, we could. Well, we are. If you're listening to this, we are recording a video for snippets and stuff, and
we're
just trying to get used to it.
We're just hashing out our system here, and it'll also give us the opportunity to play with like some editing things. Just always onwards and upwards, trying to build this thing up.
Yep.
So if y'all are listening, you're hanging with us, man. You are witnessing something great in its infancy. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. I truly do.
Yeah, for sure.
I really do.
But yeah, witnessing the future. I mean,
I apologize.
No, go ahead.
All right, man. You kind of got me a little.
Yeah, we have to. We got to talk about these things. We got to talk about the topic.
I love it. So you're talking about astral projecting and whatnot,
yes.
And I am actually, I have lucid dreamed many times. I'll continue to do it once I can grab a hold of the fact that I am in a dream. Sometimes I struggle with it, and I wake up like, how did that slip by me? You know? But when I lucid dream, man, I have a method of where I can walk up to any flat surface or anything clear, be it a refrigerator, an open space in a wall. If a wall has things on it, I can't do it. Sometimes you can use the floor.
Yeah.
You can essentially rip open, push open, pull open, or just will into existence a doorway when you do this. And it's real. I've had been some crazy places that I almost couldn't even comprehend because it was not within my imagination to do so.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did I arrive here? This is bizarre. So kind of like when I first started doing it, like I would just open a doorway and not consider to where it went whatsoever. I had no thought or imagination on what was on the other side of it, and then just to go through it. And I mean, I've seen some wild shit. And then I've also tried to take that when I am lucid dreaming, and I've tried to actually create doorways that like get me places.
Yeah.
And I've used that to try to like connect with other people who may also be in a dream state, but I've never done that successfully.
So when you're doing that, do you have the cord?
The cord?
Yeah, the silver cord that's like in your, because when you're astral projecting, a lot of people say they have the cord, and that's what that's what tethers you. So you're more like
I had never seen that.
So you're more just in like a dream state.
But I'm not sure what is that dream state. But I've tried to get up with people through these doorways that I felt like might also be sleeping, and I've done that successfully, but I've never had anybody ever recall it or say like our dreams merged or something like that. So it might just be truly within my own mind with no connection to anything outside of it, but I don't know, and I will continue to try because I don't know. Yeah, I just straight up don't know.
So you say you go through doors,
gateways, trap doors. I just open them up.
My thing was I would always imagine a mirror and just fly right through it. And it's like as soon as I like pass that threshold, it's like the entire like feeling just changes.
Yeah.
Like, so my favorite thing is like for a clear space on a wall, I just put my hands on it and then push it open. And sometimes it'll swing open like double doors. Sometimes it'll open up like up like that,
door.
like garage door. And sometimes it'll just crack and then crumble into a fucking doorway. And then with the floor, I could stomp a square out of it, like just tap on it a few times and a square will open, and then there's the trap door.
That's cool.
It's really wild, man. Y'all should try it. Like,
it's wild, like, because, I mean, we all have had our own, all the three of us have had our own instances with something, with some other plane, some other form of something we shouldn't have been able to, because when...
Define shouldn't.
Well, okay,
we should
be able to, yes, you're right, you're correct.
Bam.
Things we should be able to tap into on a regular, but they're all different. Like, that's always been my issue is like, okay, you'll go to Facebook groups, hey, did you guys hear this? Did you guys, experience this? Have you done this? And they're like, kinda, but not exactly. I'm like, well, then how the hell are we all having these weird experiences that are abnormal to our normal, air quotes, human lives, but they're not the same? Like, it's just fascinating.
Who's to say we don't just perceive them to be different and they are the same, or they're only slightly different? Because just like all our lives are slightly different, because there's different people, like the colors.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a matter of perspective. Same,
but different.
Take.
Let's do the same.
So yeah, that's kind of mind blowing that we like worked our way to that, because it is kind of like the colors, because it's however we individually decide to access the source or the force, whatever.
I'm a true believer in that other plane and being able to tap into it, man.
Yeah.
I've through psychedelic experiences, through dreaming. I mean, I've just seen things that I don't understand how I could have conceptualized them into existence, and
right.
I'm just like, what the hell is going on right now?
Yeah.
I mean, many times.
So for me, and I haven't had one in a while, but when I get a dream that I know is a significant future event, it's either me in a room looking through a window, like I call it like the capsule, or I'm just out and I'm really high up. The one that I remember the most vivid was, 2018. So whenever they had that missile alert in Hawaii.
Yeah.
About a couple days before that, I had a dream, and I ain't never been to Hawaii. Pretty much flat broke. Never been. Never traveled. And in the dream, I'm above the ocean and breathing heavily. I remember freaking out. It's perfect. But so breathing heavily, I can hear the water. I can feel the mist of the water. And in the distance is this lush green island, and it's got two peaks. And in between the two peaks, I see a flash, and then the big flash, and then that's all I see. And sure enough, I looked it up, and it was I believe it was, I had to look it up again, but I believe it was Maui, not Maui.
Maui is the big island.
Yeah, it was, and it has, if you look at it, has two peaks. So I've never looked it up, but in my dream, that's exactly what I saw. And then they said that alert was false, or it got stopped. So did I see a possible
timeline?
Yeah, did I see a possible timeline?
Glimpse into a different future?
Or maybe somebody averted it. Maybe it was actually shot down or stopped somehow, and that was the possible future, and then it was just negated.
Yeah.
Now, remember I sent you that video about that, like they've been trying to save the world through time travel thing?
Oh, I don't remember that. I may not have watched it. I may not have seen it.
Okay. Let's say there's like this Back to the Future thing.
Yeah. Pretty much it. Okay, that makes sense.
They've been going like Terminator, going back to the past, right, like Aku.
You're right.
Samurai Jack going back to the past to destroy evil where it stands, so they can live the perfect life and bring heaven to earth or whatever.
A little bit. I'm gonna sidebar here, just to help anybody who's listening that doesn't know any better. Watch Samurai Jack. If you watched it as a kid, it's 20 times better than you thought it was then.
I've noticed that about some of those shows.
Go back and watch that man. That Pollock guy they got writing that shit.
I was like,
incredible. Primal's good too, but not as good as Samurai Jack.
I haven't seen Primal, but I've heard it's good.
It's good, but it's not as good as Samurai Jack. I mean, it is something else. It's like a whole bit. It's a running gag. It's quick and fast jokes. The soundtrack is awesome. The animation is unique. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's like blew my mind. I'm like, yeah.
He's very good at beating a joke to death.
Yeah, it's like a mastery of suspense. Like you always be on on the edge of your seat for it, and then when they finally deliver the blow, you're gonna be laughing. You're gonna be like, ooh, ah, yeah,
So,
Jack.
So I've noticed, gosh, what was I saying? So there's a lot of that time stuff. I mean, there's always been a lot of that time stuff, but now it's it's really in the mainstream with all the Marvel movies and everything. They go back and forth and mess with time all the time.
Mm-hmm. Ripple in Time.
Yeah, Ripple in Time.
A Wrinkle in Time.
A Wrinkle in Time. Yes.
Okay, and do you remember the Looking Glass, Project Looking Glass?
Oh man, it sounds so familiar. Not really.
So basically, they created this device, Project Looking Glass, and it was they could go all the way, look into the future, and look into the past and view events. I think it's like something, has something to do with the Vatican, of course.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
But they are freaking out because they've scried so far into the future that they all keep coming to the same conclusion.
Oh.
And they're trying to avoid
it's their ultimate destruction.
Oh wow.
And it's like there's nothing they can do about it. So it's like literally just
it's fate.
The inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while we're on that topic, one of my favorite time movies is A Sound of Thunder, and it's what I use to reference to the Mandela Effect. It's from like 2010. What it is these people. It's a really good movie for that time frame. I mean, it's like a B movie, but it's great. But what happens is this company finds, I don't remember why, but they can go back in time, but they can only go back in time to a certain time frame. You're not allowed to mess with anything, or else you'll ruin everything.
Butterfly effect. Right?
Yes. So this company allows people to go in time and hunt a dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
You can pay the fee to go on this little track and you hunt the dinosaur, but the dinosaur is going to walk just right after you kill it, right after you shoot it. It's going to walk into a tar pit and die. So it's not harming anything. So of course these rich assholes are paying to go on this trip. Somebody steps off the path, literally steps on a giant butterfly and brings it back. And then what happens? The very interesting thing happens. Time starts to change in waves, and it comes in literal like over the earth,
like a pulse,
like in pulses.
I just had deja vu.
And we've probably talked about this before, because it's very important with the Mandela Effect. Because if you go back to about 2010, 2012, when Mandela Effect started in that time frame, what did we start hearing? All those videos of those crazy trumpet sounds in the sky, like something was making a loud noise, as if something was causing friction against our atmosphere, like a literal wave.
Mm-hmm.
And then in these time changes in the movies, small changes start to take place, with random stuff at first, but then you start to see cities where like vines and stuff will grow up through like the sidewalk, and it'll start taking on a more primal feature, and it keeps going, and time changes, thus and thus and thus and thus. I don't actually remember how it ends, but I remember it gets pretty insane because like all of New York, I don't want to ruin it. There's a lot of time changes and the plants and stuff, and weird creatures start coming back, and it's pretty great. But that was my theory for the Mandela Effect, is we did something, whether it's with CERN, or there was actually this story that there was a Vimana found in a cave at around the same time, maybe 2009, 2010.
It's Indian, right?
In India, yeah. That was in a time well, like in a bubble itself. And it was found, a couple soldiers died, and you're trying to interact with it. All the leaders of the world came together. You're talking Putin, who was in Obama, whoever was in there at that time. And then Germany, all the leaders came and seen this. And then after that, we messed up time. Something happened, etc., etc.
So now somebody's going back and they got to write the timeline.
They got to kill Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor.
Something happened at some point and screwed up our timeline, because people are just about ruined at this point. Like, nothing makes sense. No one has common sense.
Man,
Not enough people love one another. I mean, it's just like
It's despicable.
It is despicable. We went off the deep end.
Literally, it makes me hate people because I love them so much. To see the way people are, I despise it.
It's disgusting.
Like, it's deplorable.
Yeah.
I do not like it.
You hit the nail on the head, bro.
Dude, I wouldn't lie to you, man. It's fucked up out here, man. It really is.
I care so much about everybody else that it ultimately ends up hurting me in the end because of how much I love.
Yeah, it's like love, man.
If
and
we could
like
just
love gives way to hate. You can't hate if you can't love, man. And like, I really hate the situation that our brothers and sisters are living in right now. It's pretty messed up.
But it's only a matter of time before your eyes are gonna be peeled open.
I hope so, man. I feel
think
like
we're seeing more people are waking up.
So many people live in a willful ignorance because it's a lot simpler and you don't have to worry about as much when you are like willingly blind to things. Like, because you'll start bringing up subjects to some people. It might be like on a smaller scale, or it might be on like grand scheme stuff, talking about like the way of the world, the condition the country's in, those who truly rule us, and how we're all kind of just modern day peasants still.
We literally
people, they just don't. They're like, I don't even want to hear it because they will not gloss over. It glosses over, and they don't disagree with you. They don't disagree with you. They just don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
constantly.
You're good. We're probably gonna finish this one up because it's 40 minutes, but. All right, everybody. Well, we've been at it. We've talked about it. We've looked at it. We've tried to do some scrying. We've tried to do some recording. This is probably going to have some videos and audio spliced together, so this should be an interesting episode. We'll have some of these videos on our TikTok as well, for sure, and Facebook, all that good stuff. We want to thank you guys for sitting in with us, and we want to appreciate everything that you do as far as a fan. Like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely comments. It goes straight to me currently, and it's so thrilling to see comments and like growth and people talking about the videos.
Yeah,
we love that stuff.
And honestly,
I screenshot and share them to you guys. Like,
it tickles me.
What do you like? What do you not like? I mean, share your opinions. You are the audience. You know,
if you think something is trash, tell us
and interact with us, man. Yeah, like talk shit to me. I don't care. Let's go. Let's have it.
We're not that type of YouTubers. No, we want to interact. We tell these stories and these legends and myths and facts as a discussion. That's why it's great that it's not just me anymore. We can discuss it.
Oh, I love a good topic to bounce around.
Yeah, we just like a damn like a game of badminton.
Yeah, but we're also going to discuss it like civilly. Like, we're not going to batter people in the comments. We're not going to.
Oh, not at all.
You heard what we were talking about. We want to spread love and enlighten people.
But I do want to say that your definition of batter and my definition of batter may not be the same.
That's true.
I mean, you come correct, interact, but come on.
But come as you are.
You come as you are, as a friend, as I want you to be.
And we're gonna get copyrighted.
All right,
everybody. Appreciate you stopping by and appreciate you listening. You guys want to say bye?
Oh, yeah. I'll catch y'all on the flip.
Yeah, peace. I miss you already.
See y'all in the next episode.